So morning guys, so today is the first day of our Align and Shine Posture Reset Challenge. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of an overview of what we're going to be doing for the first week. So it's going to be divided into 2 weeks. First week, we're going to be focusing on upper body posture. So I just wanted to explain some of the concepts of what we're going to be working through in the actual exercise workouts. But also just explain how it's going to work. So what I'm going to do is below this video, I'm going to drop a Google Sheet, which will have 6 different workouts that we're going to be doing over the course of the next 7 days. So I'm going to drop them all at once. So you can choose, you click on the link and it'll take you to a YouTube video. They're roughly between 5 and 20 minutes long. So you can choose, what days you do them on. Maybe some days you might like to double up, depending on how your week pans out. And then the second week, we're going to be doing lower body sort of leg, knee, hip sort of stuff. And I'll drop that on Monday next week. But for the concepts that we're going to be working through, when it comes to, like, if we're talking about upper body posture, there's a very significant relationship in our body with, they call it length tension relationships. So if you imagine through the shoulders and the chest, if the agonist and antagonist, so if one set of muscles on the back pulls my shoulders back, the set of muscles at the front pulls my shoulders forwards, if the length tension relationships are off, what normally happens in this situation is most people have more tension in the front muscles, and that causes too much length in the opposing muscles at the back. So the shoulders tend to roll forward. So I sort of explain it like, if you think about your muscles being like an elastic band where they've got elastic properties to them, if you think of like a bungee cord, like how thick and tight that is, if you had that at the front, it's gonna naturally just always pull your shoulders forwards. So what we need to do is we need to stretch the muscles that are tight, that have that extra tension, and we need to strengthen the opposing muscles to create more tension in those and create more length at the front. And that will bring, for instance, our shoulders back to a neutral alignment. And a neutral alignment is where the joint will mechanically work at its most efficient positioning. So everything will work perfectly. When it's out of alignment, we get wear and tear because things just aren't functioning the way that they were perfectly designed to work. So when it comes to upper body, they call it an upper cross syndrome or forward head posture. Generally what happens is the shoulders come forwards. So we get tightness through the chest. We get tightness through the upper abs. Because it starts to round, if you think about doing like a crunch, it starts to round our upper back. Our shoulder blades come apart and we get weakness between the middle of the shoulder blades and our thoracic, so our upper back erector, spinal erector muscles, the ones that erect our spine and keep us nice and straight. And then what happens is when the shoulders come forwards, you see that my neck positioning changes. So then we get crisscross patterns in the body of tightness and weakness. So then what happens is the crisscross pattern is that from the chest, that being tight, then we crisscross across to the back of the neck, then we get tightness and shortening in the neck extensor muscles. And that's why they call it a forward head posture, because the head starts to come forward, the neck flexes at the front, become weak because that becomes lengthened, same as it's the crisscross from the upper back through to here. And what will always happen is your body will always want to keep your head looking straight ahead. So you're not going to walk around like this because you need to see what's around you. So the head will tilt, and that's what causes that tightness in the upper neck muscles. And this creates, imbalances in all the in the muscles, but also the mechanics of the joints, as I just mentioned. And every centimeter that the head is forwards, it starts to create pressure through the joints, and then that can create other problems. So when we are posturally aligned very well, our body has to use very little energy, very little tension. It can just stack up with gravity. As soon as it starts to come forwards, gravity starts to pull on it and it magnifies these things. So with the concepts that we're going to be working through in the exercises is that we're going to be stretching the tighter muscles, and we're going to be doing strength work through the weak muscles in that order. So that's very important, the order that we do it in. So when we are very, very tight through the front, we need to actually loosen that first. So we're going to release that first, and then that will allow us to get into a full strong contraction where we can really retract the shoulders back. Because when you're really tight, you can't actually even pull your shoulders back. So we need to release that first. Then we want to build strength in those muscles in the ranges of motion where the shoulders are back and in good alignment. And you'll see that when my shoulders come forwards, that tends to allow the neck to lengthen up, and then the head comes into a better posture as well. So that's my long explanation of what we're going to be doing. Once you start to do the workouts, you'll understand the order and you'll see what I'm doing in there. We're going to do some longer holds and some strength work and some longer stretch holds, as well as longer holds for the strength work, to try and develop strength and flexibility in a position of good posture. So anyway, that's my explanation. So once you're ready, see if you can do one of the workouts today. Ideally, if you can do one a day. You might even like to do more than one a day. These ones you can do, a couple of times a day even. So give it a go. Let me know how you go with the workouts.